Once upon a time, there was a farmer whose name was Joe.
How's it going?
Joe was a very good farmer, and he looked after his animals very well. He made sure that they all had enough to eat and drink. He made sure that the cows were milked and that the pigs were fed. He made sure that the sheep and horses had plenty of space to run about. Joe liked his animals, and they liked him. But there was one problem. Joe didn't listen to the animals. Oh yes, he heard them making their funny noises, but he didn't really listen to what they were saying. And mostly, the animals didn't mind that Joe wasn't listening. They just enjoyed their life on the farm. But one night, there was a terrible storm. The wind howled all night long, and the rain lashed onto the roof. The old red barn where the animals slept began to shake, and the roof rattled and groaned and creaked. It was very scary. The animals were terrified that the whole barn would fall down and the roof would topple in on top of them. The old red barn was just not safe anymore. The next morning, as soon as the sun was up, they decided that they'd have to do something about it. They would tell Farmer Joe about the shaking and the rattling and the groaning and creaking. They'd tell him immediately that the barn was dangerous and that they couldn't stay there anymore. But Farmer Joe was going around the farm whistling and singing and doing his jobs as usual. He never looked up, and he never noticed the broken roof. All the animals tried to tell him about the barn in their own different ways.
Oink, oink,
said the pigs. Baa, baa, said the sheep.
Quack, quack,
said the ducks. Neigh, neigh, said the horses.
moo, moo,
said the cows.
cock-a-doodle-doo,
Said the big red rooster.
cheep, cheep, cheep.
Said the little yellow chickens. But Farmer Joe just wasn't listening. Oh yes, he heard their funny noises, and he smiled.
What's going on? Those animals are fierce noisy today,
he said, and he got on with his work. When he had finished, he sat down in the sunshine to have a little nap. The animals gathered round.
We must make him listen,
said one of the pigs. We have to find a way, said one of the sheep.
Perhaps if we all tell him together, he will listen to us,
said the big red rooster. And so all the animals gathered round Farmer Joe, and all at once they started to tell him about the barn.
Oink, oink,
said the pigs. Baa, baa, said the sheep.
quack, quack,
said the ducks. Neigh, neigh, said the horses.
moo, moo,
said the cows.
cock-a-doodle-doo,
Said the big red rooster.
cheep, cheep, cheep.
Said the little yellow chickens. But Farmer Joe wasn't listening. He opened his eyes.
Cut out that racket!
He said to the animals.
Can't you see I'm trying to have a nap?
And he dozed off again in the lovely sunshine. The animals were getting very worried. They couldn't spend another night in that creaking old barn. It was just too dangerous. But how could they get Farmer Joe to listen? Just then, they heard the school bell ringing, and the children began to come up the road on their way home from the village school. The children often stopped to talk to the animals as they went past.
Now is our chance,
said the big red rooster.
we'll tell the children about the barn.
The children came up to the farm gate to say hello. All at once, the animals told them their story.
oink, oink,
Said the pigs. Baa, baa, said the sheep.
Quack, quack,
Said the ducks. Neigh, neigh, said the horses.
moo, moo,
Said the cows.
cock-a-doodle-doo,
Said the big red rooster.
cheep, cheep, cheep.
Said the little yellow chickens. The children listened. They didn't really understand what the animals were saying, but they knew there was something wrong. Just then, Serena, one of the children, looked up.
Look,
She said in her whispery voice.
the old barn is creaking and swaying. It looks like it might fall down. We'd better tell Farmer Joe.
The children ran into the farmyard. Lisa was calling and shouting as they went.
Listen up, Farmer
Farmer Joe. Listen up,
she said. Farmer Joe woke up.
What's going on here?
He said.
What's all the fuss about?
The children gathered round.
It's the barn, Farmer Joe,
said Lisa in her big loud voice. It's creaking and groaning, said Jake with disbelief.
It's going to fall down,
said Serena in a whisper. And hurt your animals, said Tom with a gasp.
Oh no,
said Farmer Joe.
Not the barn, the old red barn. My poor animals will have nowhere to sleep. I'll have to get it fixed straight away. Why didn't one of you tell me before now?
He asked. The animals laughed. That's just what they had been trying to do. It's just that, as usual, Farmer Joe had not been listening. They looked at the children and said a big thank you.
Oink, oink.
Said the pigs. Bah, bah, said the sheep.
Quack, quack.
Said the ducks. Nay, nay, said the horses.
Moo, moo,
said the cows.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Said the big red rooster.
Cheep, cheep, cheep.
Said the little yellow chickens. The children said goodbye and ran home, and they told their mums and dads the story of Farmer Joe's barn.
Lisa told it in a big loud voice.
Jake told it with disbelief.
Serena told it in a whisper.
And Tom told it with a gasp. One of the mothers laughed.
That Farmer Joe,
She said.
he will just have to learn to listen up.